$1 million used to mean luxury. In New Jersey's hottest zip codes, it now means entry ticket. Start with the scale of what's moving. There are more than 1 million homes for sale across the United States, and at least 10% of them carry a $1,000 price tag or more. Inventory has now climbed for 25 consecutive months, but scarcity still bites in the places where demand is deepest. The New York City Metro, stretching across the Hudson into northern New Jersey, sits at the top of the heap for million-dollar listings. In that commuter belt, the expectation is different. In Bergen County, the million-dollar mark has become the new normal, a price point shaped by proximity, schools, and lifestyle as much as square footage. Zoom in to the calendar. September 2027-5 was a turning point in the Garden State. In Bergen County, 621 new listings hit the market in that month, down from 694 in September 2020. Supply tightened. Prices didn't. The median sale price in Bergen rose to $825,000, up from $779,995 the year before. The same month, more than 100 miles south in Salem County, the trajectory rhymed even if the numbers differed. The median moved up to $290,000 from $268,500, a gain that lands squarely in the tens of thousands bracket. As summer turned to fall, the statewide pattern sharpened. Fewer listings, higher medians, and a clear sense that buyers were leaning hard toward convenience and speed. The high end isn't idling, it's accelerating. In October 2025, luxury listings near the top of the market, the 90th percentile, moved 3 days faster than a year earlier. That speed shrinks the historical gap between trophy homes and everyday listings, and it tells a simple story. In the tightest suburbs and the most coveted shore towns, the affluent buyer is not waiting. $1 million once bought bragging rights. Now, in parts of northern New Jersey, it buys a commute, a school district, and walkable downtowns with trains, buses, and restaurants that stay open late enough to matter. The return to the office is a silent engine behind all of it. Markets closest to the job cores are rising. For 2026, the places to watch include 4 northeastern powerhouses inside the top 10. Manhattan ranks 9th, Brooklyn ranks 4th, northern New Jersey lands at 7th, and Jersey City surges to 2nd, jumping 17 places from the prior year, on the strength of what people always wanted but can't find in the infinite suburbs: proximity, amenity, and a skyline view that doesn't require 2 hours in traffic. Capital followed the commuters. In the first half of 2025, Jersey City logged $177,000 of investment. 65% of that flow targeted apartments. Look at the map of the shore, and the numbers take on a diamond sparkle. In October 2020, 1750, Deal posted a typical home value of $4,000 and $45,314. Alpine on the Palisades stood at $2,933,197. Lock Arbor reached $2,842,173. Avalon on the Barrier Islands ran to $2,598,468, while its neighbor Stone Harbor recorded $2,363,231. Bay Head came in at $2,304,955, Seagirt at $2,253,632. On the suburban luxury side inland, Short Hills clocked $2,190, $7,129, and Saddle River hit $2,184, $832. Even Allenhurst, tucked alongside the Atlantic, registered $2,157,870. What used to be a summer address is increasingly a 12-month lifestyle. The new construction pipeline reflects that shift. In 2010, LIAA Asbury Park opens, with coastal units starting at $825,000 for one-bedrooms and stretching to more than $8,010 for villas in the sky. In Long Branch, another condominium project brings 1 to 5 bedroom layouts where the majority offer some slice of ocean view. Pricing starts at $1,300,000 and rises to $6,000 for 2 penthouses. Numbers like those don't rise in a vacuum. They rise because of a simple equation: Commute plus schools plus culture equals premium. Northern New Jersey's most sought-after towns offer quick access to PATH trains, ferries, buses, and interstates. They wrap those links in walkable downtowns, top-rated public schools, and low-crime neighborhoods. The terrain itself sets boundaries. Limited land and long-standing cost structures keep construction expensive and supply tight. Those constraints have pushed typical prices well above national norms and set the floor for million-dollar expectations. In Bergen County, that floor is now part of the everyday vocabulary of buyers and sellers. Contrast that with the national backdrop, and the New Jersey difference stands out. Across the country, 53% of homes are worth less than they were 12 months prior, a surge from 14% 1 year earlier and the highest level of value loss since 2012. The average drop from peak value sits at 9.7%. Yet even inside that sobering headline, the cushion is thick. Only 4.1% of homes are worth less than when they were last sold, and the median owner still has 67% more value than at the time of purchase. The places taking the sharpest hits are concentrated in the West and parts of the South. Tampa's a case study. 80 to 5.2% of homes in that metro are down from peak values, with an average decline of 12%. In New Jersey, by contrast, September 2029's Fives data in Bergen and Salem shows the opposite. Fewer listings and higher closing prices as the Garden State tilts toward a late-year rise. Investment flows are matching that tilt. Jersey City's $177,400,000 in the first 6 months of 2025, with nearly two-thirds directed to apartments, signals a vote of confidence in multifamily living close to Midtown and Lower Manhattan. It's not just one city either. Northern New Jersey, as a region, ranks 7th among the top markets to watch for 2026. Manhattan and Brooklyn are both in the top 10, and the grouping tells the story. A cluster of urban and near-urban addresses, underpinned by job diversity, amenities, and the ability to live without sacrificing time. The return-to-office shift isn't a slogan. It's a pattern whose fingerprints are in capital expenditures and leasing velocity. At the street level, buyers have shifted their preferences. New construction and move-in-ready properties are selling the quickest. It isn't just granite and staging, it's the avoidance of renovation risk, of delays, of supply chain uncertainties. In a market where the median in Bergen County sits at $825,000 and plenty of neighborhoods expect 7 figures, the appetite is for turnkey. Modern layouts, updated finishes, the ability to close and move before the next school term, these are the edges that separate the listings that sit from the listings that command competing offers. That's true in suburban cul-de-sacs off Route 4 and in coastal enclaves from Seagirt to Bayhead. If you want to see how the top end reshapes the middle, watch the clock. In October 2025, the 90th percentile homes tightened their days on market by 3 days year over year. That speed, marginal as it sounds, narrows a gap that historically allowed mid-market buyers to breathe while luxury sellers waited. When the top moves faster, it pulls the anchor. Appraisals stretch. Down payments rise. The staircase between tiers gets steeper, and the psychology of scarcity builds on itself. That psychology is amplified by proximity. Billion-dollar towers across the river set the tone. But in northern New Jersey, the selling proposition isn't just about city lights. It's about safe streets, parks, sports programs that punch above their weight, and the kind of school systems that send parking lots into gridlock on Friday nights. Families will pay for those intangibles, and in 2025, those premiums were visible in the median jumps. Bergen County's year-over-year rise from $779,995 to $825,000 wasn't an outlier. Salem County's move from $268,500 to $290,000 confirms that even in rural stretches, value is climbing. The national capital markets tell a nuanced story, however, and it's worth reading the fine print. Multifamily returns posted 5.48% on an annual basis in the third quarter, outperforming an all-property index at 4.65%. West Coast metros like San Jose, Orange County, and San Diego crested above 7% thanks to supply constraints and strong demand. The dynamic flips where cranes outnumber tenants. Oversupplied markets, including Austin, Raleigh, and Phoenix, saw some of the lowest returns nationwide. Regulatory-heavy markets such as New York underperformed major peers in that multifamily benchmark, a reminder that policy environments matter. Yet even inside that caution, Miami and Houston cracked the national top 10. Geography matters, but so do the microstructures of each metro, pipeline size, absorption pace, and investor appetite for complexity. Northern New Jersey sits between those cross-currents. On one side lies a national cooling in owner-occupied values. On the other, a regional surge powered by job proximity and lifestyle premiums. The result is a bifurcated reality. Million-dollar listings are no longer exotic in Bergen County. They are expected. In the broader New York City metro, the number of million-dollar homes listed leads the country. At the same time, across the U.S., more than half of homes have softened over the past year. Both can be true, and both are shaping how New Jersey behaves at the close of 2022. The shore is the bridge between those truths. In October 2025, deal at $40.45, $314 illustrates the apex of coastal value, but it's the spread that matters. Alpine at $2,000, $933,197. Lock Arbor at $2,000, $842,000. Avalon at $2,000, $598,000, $468. Stone Harbor at $2,000, $363,000, $231. Bay Head at $2,000, $304,000, $955. Seagirt at $2,000, $253,000, $632. Short Hills at $2,000, $197,000, $129. Saddle River at $2,000, $184,000, $830, and Allenhurst at $2,000, $150, $7,870 form a lattice of seven-figure expectations. That lattice is growing, reinforced by 2027's slate of new product. Lido Asbury Park's one-bedrooms start at $825,000, and its most dramatic units climb past $8,000. In Long Branch, broad floor plan options start at $1,300,000 and top out at $6,000 for the penthouses. These aren't just price tags. They act like magnets, pulling in full-time residents, capitalizing on remote flex schedules, and anchoring retail and dining ecosystems that make a July address feel viable in January. Track the buyers, and you will see a pattern. Commuters who can shave minutes off a path ride, families who choose a district because the varsity schedule matters, and downsizers who want elevators and ocean views more than lawns. Each decision compresses into a number: $825,000 for a median in Bergen County, $290,000 in Salem, and a set of shore values that would have sounded unthinkable a decade ago. The reason the market is moving at the top while tightening in the middle is that the premium is no longer just a status symbol, it's a strategy for time. What happens next depends on two levers that New Jersey does not control. The first is policy around office returns and workplace norms. 2026's rankings already codify what the foot traffic has telegraphed. Jersey City's 17th spot jumped to second, Northern New Jersey's climbed to 7th, and the inclusion of Manhattan at 9th and Brooklyn at 4th reflect a back-to-office rhythm that favors living near work, even when near means one stop on a train. If that rhythm strengthens, the pull on Hoboken, Jersey City, and the Bergen corridors intensifies. If it fades, some of that heat will drain to more distant, cheaper exurbs. The second lever is the cost of capital. Interest rate policy shapes deal flow and cap rates. Lower costs can revive stalled projects and unlock buying power. Higher costs can pinch valuations and pause pipelines. Those rates will in turn influence the absorption in places like Asbury Park and Long Branch. When a one-bedroom starts at $825,000 and the penthouses touch $6,000 or more, the monthly math matters. Watch the financing environment in 26 as closely as you watch the open house lines. Even with those uncertainties, the contours of the Garden State's near future are visible in the data on hand. This inventory nationally has swelled beyond 1 million homes, with at least 10% of them in the million-plus club. Luxury velocity improved in October 2025, shaving 3 days off the prior year at the 90th percentile. Bergen County's September numbers say supply dipped while prices rose. Salem County's median moved up too, proof that the lift isn't confined to one corner. Jersey City's $177,000 investment in the first half of 2025, with 65% directed to apartments, puts dollars behind the premise that more people want to live within a short train ride of a Manhattan office. And the top 10 ranking placements for 2026, Northern New Jersey at 7, Jersey City at 2, Manhattan at 9, Brooklyn at 4 cement a regional hierarchy, with New Jersey sitting closer to the head of the table than the middle. The risk, if you want to name one, is complacency. The broader U.S. story shows 53% of homes down year over year and an average drop from peak of 9.7%. In places like Tampa, 85.2% of homes are below peak values, and the average decline is 12%. That's not a forecast for the Garden State, it's a reminder that cycles bend. Yet the cushion is there too. Only 4.1% of homes nationwide are below their last sale price, and the median owner holds 67% more value than they bought with. In New Jersey, the late 2025 data says more pressure on buyers than sellers, and at the top, a market that moves faster than many expected. So, what kind of market is New Jersey heading into? The one where $1,000 is not a luxury badge so much as an admission ticket to certain school districts, certain commute times, and certain main streets. The one where luxury condo projects stake out the coastline with $825,000 starting prices and $820,000 caps. The one where September medians in Bergen and Salem ticked upward, while new listings in Bergen fell to 621 from 694. The one where a second-place ranking for Jersey City in 2026 and a seventh-place slot for Northern New Jersey signal that the region's appeal is not a fad. On the ground, it will feel like this. In Englewood or Ridgewood, a $1,000 and $50,000 listing draws steady weekend traffic and an offer from buyers who want to be 15 minutes to a train. In Short Hills, a $2,197,129 typical value isn't a shock. It's a number set by years of institutional performance. In Seagirt, a $2,253,632 typical value is a trade for ocean access and a downtown that stays busy in February. In Salem County, a $290,000 median opens doors for first-time buyers who want space and can now choose from listings that look better than last year. In Asbury Park, the conversation turns to whether that $825,000 one-bedroom in 2027 is a pied-à-terre or a permanent base. And in Long Branch, a $6,000 penthouse sets a new ceiling and, by extension, a new floor for what lives beneath it. There will be friction. Regulatory layers in nearby New York have dampened multifamily returns relative to several peers, and some of that policy complexity spills across the river in the form of delayed timelines or recalibrated yields. Oversupply elsewhere in the country demonstrates the downside of building ahead of absorption. Austin, Raleigh, and Phoenix felt that sting with lower multifamily returns. New Jersey's defense against that scenario lies in its limited land and costly construction. Uncomfortable in some ways, but protective in others. For sellers, the guidance is simple. Price for the market you're in, not the one you remember. In a year when luxury shaved 3 days off its time to sell and Bergen's median rose by roughly $45,000 year over year, expectations can run hot. Yet the national landscape still contains a lot of homes that are off their peaks. For buyers, the strategy is focus. If new construction and move-in-ready homes are selling fastest, then the value may lie in well-located properties that need light updates rather than full reworks. And for investors, the playbook has an urban tilt. If 65% of Jersey City's first half 2025 investment went to apartments, the thesis is to be close to transit and to amenity, where absorption is likelier to be quick and rents can hold. By the time October 2025 rolled around with that 3-day acceleration in luxury, the market had already rewritten its own rules. $1 million neighborhoods in Bergen County weren't outliers, they were benchmarks. Shore towns weren't a seasonal proposition. They were year-round economies with values like $2,000, $304,000, $955 in Bayhead, and $2,000, $360, $3,230, $1 in Stone Harbor. Urban adjacencies like Jersey City and Hoboken weren't just alternatives to Manhattan. They were top-ranked markets in their own right, capable of attracting $177,400,000 in half-year investment and climbing 17 ranking spots in a single cycle. If you want a base case for 26X, start with those anchors. Signals suggest northern New Jersey and its coastal counterparts will continue to command premiums supported by proximity, schools, and amenity-rich living. The ranking slate for 2026, Northern New Jersey 7th, Jersey City 2nd, implies steady institutional interest. The project pipeline on the coast, Asbury Park with $1,825,000 to $18,000 price points, Long Branch with $1,300,000 to $6,000, is real inventory, not just renderings. And the late 2025 medians in Bergen and Salem suggest the demand is wider than one county or one class. There are two items to watch closely over the next 12 months. First, the pace and persistence of return to office in New York City. If office attendance stabilizes or rises, expect continued pull into Jersey City, Hoboken, and the Bergen commuter towns. If it weakens, some of the pressure could ease. Second, interest rate policy and the financing costs that ride with it. Cheaper capital could broaden the buyer pool and help absorb high-end coastal inventory. Costlier money could slow transactions and test the upper reaches of those $60,000 to $8,000 asks. The Garden State ends 2025 with a clear identity. It is a market where $1 million can feel ordinary, where September medians rise while listings shrink, where October luxury moves faster than before, and where 2027 already has price tags on oceanfront glass. In a national picture where 53% of homes are down year over year and the average drop from peak is 9.7%, New Jersey stands out for doing the opposite in its most visible corridors. The next chapter will be written by trains, schools, and interest rates. But the opening lines are already on the page and they are written in numbers. If this helped you see the New Jersey market more clearly, share it with someone who needs the data behind the price tags.